VAF co-founder, Michelle Lee.
Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. It means so much to both Michelle and I. I really want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Quiswin. Who is so hard on this night. And I have had 2, maybe 3 glasses of wine, so I'm going to let Michelle talk.
I haven't had enough. Okay. So Gia Bang also is our co-founder, and the one thing that yes, woo, you can Okay, so just to get you up to speed, if you don't know what VAF is, on January 1st, 2022, we were talking about what Americans eat on New Year's Day and why. It was a 25-second reader. And I talked about dumplings in a quick banter to myself because I was a solo anchor. And I said, I have dumplings, okay? So someone called immediately after and said, your Asian anchor was talking about what Asian people eat. And I kind of take offense to that because she was annoying. She was being very Asian. She needs to keep her Korean to herself. And she needs to talk about what white people eat. So with that, Miss Gia Bang said, I guess I'm being hashtag very Asian too, and talked about black sausage. This was also during the height of the pandemic. And so it was funny at first, and just like when you trip and fall, you're like, laugh it off, and then you're like, that really hurt, actually. And so the hashtag very Asian went crazy viral. And, you know, slow news day, we know luck and timing, sometimes things take off. And what ended up happening, Gia created these variation shirts, and because you can do an online store like that, we sold shirts to China, Korea, Japan, the Bronx, Arkansas, LA, you know, the pink crop tops are really famous, they're really popular, Australia. And so we gave that money to the Asian American Journalists Association because we know that this is our currency. On the show, she gave us more money. And so we were like, oh, we're going to use this to start the Very Asian Foundation. So right now, we spend a lot of time, like journalists, trying to solve problems. So people will come to us and say, hey, we need more books in our schools. Hey, we feel like we were forced to be doctors and we want to be something creative. So we really do, and journalists too. So we try to build programs around these problems in a journalistic way. We still work every day in a newsroom, so we have to be journalists for everyone. But you know, back in the day, people used to say, you can't cover immigration because you're too close to it. And now people will say, you should cover immigration because you understand the nuances with it. And so we understand we are journalists for everyone, including ourselves. And so what's really great is we, for example, this year we both worked on 50th anniversary specials of The Fall of Saigon. We bought hundreds of books of Vicki Wen's book, Bo Baby, and we gave it to schools across the country. And even next week we're working with Nike to give a book called Baseball Saved Us, written by a journalist in Seattle, Ken Wojcicki. And we're giving that on behalf of Nike to kids, and we're taking them to a St. Louis Cardinals Cubs game and giving them all that book. And that is a book about baseball, saving kids in internment camp and learning about the game of baseball. So we really do not only try to help, but we also gather all of your stories unbeknownst to you, and we give them to a nonprofit organization called Teach AAPI. And so your local stories go into curriculum. And to us, that is really important because we think that journalism is the first draft of history, that our stories matter, and it could change the trajectory of how communities see you. And so I'll just give you one example. VAF this year helped change a resolution, or helped get a resolution on the books in St. Louis to honor a Chinatown that existed for 100 years, pre-Civil War. If you maybe ask anyone, they won't know, they didn't know that a Chinatown existed pre-Civil War in St. Louis for a century. Wow. I get it all the time. You live in St. Louis, how many Asian people are there too? Well, there are a lot of us. I mean, not as big as it was when I lived in Seattle, but we were able to do the stories, and we had a unanimous decision to change 8th Street to An Leong Way. And so that is something that now people go and they go, oh, what is An Leong Way? Well, it's peace and benevolence, you know? So that is something that we do because we think that our local stories are lead stories, our Asian American stories are leads.
They are.
And we need to help our managers also understand that our stories matter and they change the trajectory of communities and how the world might see us. So I could go on and on. But so Curtis, Lloyd, Janice, thank you so much for doing such incredible work and allowing us to have a path to follow. A lot of people take the ladder up with them and you didn't. And so we are so honored to be able to do work in your name, and thank you so much for being the OGs for this year.